Since the Raptors traded Kyle Lowry in the offseason, the questions around Goran Dragic haven't been if he was going to get traded, but rather when he was going to get traded. But in the last couple of weeks, the franchise has realized that there really is no interest for him in the trade market. So where do the Raptors go from here? Let's get into it. What's going on, everybody? My name is Jacob, and you are watching Amateur Hour Sports, your source for Raptors content at least 4 times a week. So if it's your first time here with me today and you like what you see, you want more of myself talking about the Raptors in videos just like this one, then make sure you are subscribed to the channel. Hit that big red button down below and help us on a road to 8,000 subscribers, and I promise you, you will not regret it. So today we are breaking down the Goran Dragic situation. I think it was 2 or 3 weeks ago. I made a video talking about the trades that the Raptors can still make that involve Goran Dragic, because obviously not playing at all right now, and even when he was with the team, right now he isn't. Even when he was with the team, he wasn't getting any minutes either. It was a lot of DNPs all over his game log. So the Raptors were obviously looking for a suitable trade partner, and they had been looking for a trade partner since the offseason. Once that trade was made, it was Kyle Lowry going to the Miami Heat. The Raptors got Precious Achiuwa, a guy that they had wanted since the 2020 NBA entry draft, and to make the salaries work, they had to take on that $19.4 million Goran Dragic contract for a year. But there was definitely some interest in the offseason, particularly from the Dallas Mavericks, who did kind of want to have a ball handler to help out Luka Doncic. And it seemed like a trade was possible there, but then it also seemed like the Raptors were asking a little bit too much, according to the Dallas Mavericks. We don't really know anything about the internal discussions as it comes to that. But recently, reports are developing that the Raptors aren't really getting any interest whatsoever in Goran Dragic. So if the Raptors can't find any interest, where does the team go with this monster contract for a player who isn't even currently with the team? When I saw this report, the first thing that I thought was that the Raptors, even if there were some interest, how would anybody really know? Because the Raptors are a very tight-lipped organization, but news could also break from other team sources where we could actually have information regarding any possible trade surrounding Goran Dragic. But I shouldn't really be looking for things not to believe about this report, because it is very believable. In fact, it's quite expected at this point. Goran Dragic, from the start of the season, he got some minutes in the first few games. He started a couple of the games, started the first one of the season, and then started another one as there were some injuries for the team. But other than that, he really has not been playing. And I don't know what really to make of it as it comes to his performances, or if it comes down to him not really fitting with the team dynamic, this very athletic team that we have put together here. But I still feel like even when he came into the team, he was coming off of, not the best season with Miami, but one where he's capable of contributing to an NBA team. But I think the Raptors, given their current circumstances, we're not going out to win an NBA championship this season. Why not give some of the younger guys like Delano Banton and Malachi Flynn a little bit more play time to really develop, instead of having to give that to Goran Dragic, who maybe doesn't really fit the team? So I think there's a combination of Goran Dragic wasn't really playing that well for the Raptors, and that in unison with the fact that it doesn't really fit the team that the Raptors have put together here. But even still, there is a place for Goran Dragic in the NBA, but is there a place for Goran Dragic on that $19.4 million contract? I still have belief that a trade is possible, but my hopes are really dwindling on this. And I think the Raptors and Raptors fans need to face the reality here that it's likely that a trade isn't going to happen. I'd say it's more likely than not that a trade is not going to happen at this point. So what are the next steps for the Toronto Raptors? I think that ultimately, you kind of just have to eat this one and kind of hold it. The trade was centered around Kyle Lowry, but the Raptors wanted to bring back the young asset in Precious Achiuwa. That was the guy that we wanted in the trade. Precious Achiuwa has really been up and down so far in his short Raptors career, but I think there is belief there in the coaching staff as well as the front office that Precious Achiuwa can be a player who contributes to your team for the foreseeable future, whether that's in a starting role, whether that's in a bench role. Precious Achiuwa can do a job for your team in the NBA. The jury kind of is still out on him being that, true starting center for this team, and I'm kind of leaning towards maybe not the case for at least a couple of seasons, but lots of potential in that player. You can absolutely understand why they wanted him. They wanted him in that 2020 draft where they ended up taking Malachi Flynn 29th. Achiuwa went 20th or 21st. I can't quite remember, to the Miami Heat, but the Raptors would have taken Achiuwa had he still been on the board that late. That was the guy we wanted. That was the guy we got. And the price to pay for that, because Lowry, after all, was a free agent, we're lucky to even get anything for him, was to take on that Goran Dragic contract after Miami took on the team option to make that Lowry trade possible. We are stuck with this contract here. Obviously, Goran Dragic, there's a little bit of a feud in the offseason because of the things he said to the media that kind of got taken a little bit out of context or lost in translation a little bit. But we still have him here. And right now, for a player who wasn't even getting minutes when he was with the team, he's now not with the team. We still don't really have any answers as to why that is the case. I don't think anybody is really searching for those answers either. We just don't have the information necessary on Goran Dragic's absence. And as a result, I don't know if any NBA teams are going to be wanting to get a player that is kind of a wild card at this point. You don't know what exactly you're going to get out of this player. You don't know if he's quite ready to contribute to a team that has aspirations to go deeper in the playoffs, because those are the only teams who really care about getting Goran Dragic would be to help them out for a playoff run, a veteran who has been to an NBA final before. But at the moment, you don't know exactly what you're going to get. So it might be a little bit safer just to ignore that and pursue some other assets. I think the only real possible way the Raptors can find a trade to work for Goran Dragic at this particular juncture is if they are going to trade for a younger player on a little bit of a bigger contract and you need some salary filler. That is the only way this is really going to work at this present moment. Salary filler. I can't, unfortunately, see any team landing Goran Dragic in a trade where they want to take on Dragic for his ability. I think it's only going to be salary filler at this point. Dragic is likely going to become a free agent at the end of the season where he can choose to go wherever he wants, likely to a playoff team. But questions are now going to be asked about a possible buyout for Goran Dragic. Well, he's taken up a roster spot. Why not buy him out and add in a younger player that can help out this team? Well, unfortunately, as it comes to the current Toronto Raptors, we're 13-15. We're hovering around 500, kind of what I was expecting for this season. Can we get back above 500? You guys, I'd say the most of you seem to think so. I'm not quite sold on that. Maybe we can just creep above it, but we're not really making any waves deep in a playoff race. So I don't really see a reason to sign anybody that we don't need to sign. I think that trades are likely going to happen for this team at some point or another. But as far as, getting a player to sign, I don't really know who's available that you can sign that is going to help out your team. So I see no rush into buying out Goran Dragic. I really, really don't see a point, given our situation in the NBA right now. I don't see a point of paying Goran Dragic to play for another team. I don't think that interests me. I know it doesn't interest me, and I don't think it will interest Masai Ujiri or Bobby Webster either. The NBA is in a difficult place right now. I've been saying on my streams, but I think at any point, any day now, the NBA could shut down for a period of time. There's a lot of uncertainty going around the league at this particular point. I don't even know if trades are really going to start happening right now as a result of all of the uncertainty, as a result of all the players who are missing from games at this point in time. There's so many question marks regarding the NBA. I don't think other teams are going to want to take on more of these questions by taking on a trade for Goran Dragic right now. Maybe in a month's time, maybe as we get closer to the deadline, if there's a team, there's some injuries, they truly need a player that can handle the ball and help them out in the playoffs, like Denver, who are so plagued with injuries, or maybe Dallas, who still want that ball handler to help out Luka Doncic in the playoffs. These are questions that can be answered closer to the deadline. However, my hope is really starting to fall on the ability for the Raptors to trade Goran Dragic. So what's likely going to happen? We're just going to sit and hold. We're going to hold on to the contract. It is what it is. We got our guy in Precious Achiuwa. We did our best with the Kyle Lowry situation, given that he was a free agent, had the ability to go anywhere that he wanted to go. The fact that we got something at all is a dub in that trade. So I think we're just going to hold what we have. It's a little bit frustrating to know we have that $19.4 million sitting there. We have that player sitting there that can possibly be traded for assets. But it is kind of the reality of this season. The Raptors are kind of in that transition season. It's not quite a rebuild, more of a retool season to see what we have. And as far as making any waves with Goran Dragic, I just don't think that really is going to happen. Like it or not, I don't like it, but again, that's just the reality of this situation. So can we trade Goran Dragic? It's still possible. Will we? I find that quite unlikely, and that's all there is to it. Do you think that the Raptors are going to trade Goran Dragic? I want to hear your thoughts and opinions in the comments down below. Did you guys like the new intro I made for today's video? Let me know about that as well. I spent some time working on it. I thought that we really needed to freshen things up on Amateur Sports. But thank you so much for watching this video, guys. Please, if you did enjoy, give a like on the video. If you're still here watching, clearly you did enjoy the video, and it's so easy. Make sure you guys are subscribed to the channel. There's a big button in the middle of the screen. You hit that button. You're up to date with the 4+ Raptors videos we put out every single week. Let's get to 8,000 subscribers. We'll see you again next time for another video.